discussion on the next stage, which is the growth phase. So Phani, what do you think a growth phase is?
So yeah, typically, right, you've proven your product, you understood the market fit, and then you launched and you continue to grow your customers, right? Now, at this stage of the product, you basically need to figure out how you can scale it. And I think that is where the growth product manager comes into place. So more than the actual product development, right? Like what are the new features that you want to build in the product? You're basically looking at your funnel conversions. So you'll be very focused on what is the number of customers that are coming to top of the funnel. When I say top of the funnel here, basically, let's say you have 5 pages where a customer has to go and fill an application. So you'll be looking at all kinds of efficiencies that you can do to continue to convert these stages. So you'll be doing a lot of research again, but the research that you'll be doing here is focused on your current customers. At least that's what I've observed. You'll reach out to the customers, do interviews, and see where they're dropping off and continue to enhance the product there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so this is basically more working more close with the marketing teams, right? Trying to see what the top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel is, and how people are converting, and what's the growth rates and all. I'm assuming there's also where product managers define the strategy and also do experimentation to see what is the path we could take to get more conversions in, right? Like, maybe I think in growth there is virality, there are funnels and all of these things. Explore these areas and see where we can actually acquire more customers, and also get to the pain points of the customers to see if they're actually getting enough value or not. I think there are a lot of metrics that go into this, figuring out all of these things.
In simple terms, the way I see this is a product manager will take a product from 0 to 1, and a growth product manager probably is taking that product from 1 to n. So, and the way growth product manager that I've seen in the past is, I think just to add to both of your points, is how do we reduce the existing customer friction in the product development, like in the product journey, in their journey. For instance, taking an example of what Phani mentioned, like if a customer needs to complete 5 steps in order to complete the application, how can we make it to 1 page so everything can be populated and just complete in single 1 step? So that's where I see growth product manager. And yeah, I think from metric standpoint, it's all like kind of what you already mentioned: adoption, conversion, or like sometimes, like especially if a growth product manager is working on an onboarding experience, that's where you think about what is the mean time that customers are taking to onboard, and how do you reduce that, and that kind of stuff. So
I want to actually double click on the A/B testing also, right? The testing that Sidhu has mentioned. So I've done this a lot as well. So you're trying to convert a customer from like one stage to another, or like one page to another. And at this point, you know that the customers are coming, and you need to figure out what works versus what doesn't work. And that's where you will do a lot of A/B testing here, or the lot of multivariate testing to see like what is actually helping one customer versus the other. And I think you will focus a lot on defining the customer persona as well in this stage. Because based on the customer persona, if you go to QuickBooks right now, QuickBooks has different variations of the product shown to different customers. And the primary reason is they understand that customer really well to show what is relevant to them.
And that's a really good point, right? So you basically have a product market fit in a startup. And once you find that, the next phase is getting into put that product in a way that customers buy, right? By the persona, messaging and all of it, and you change that. And also I think that it's a good skill to have, right? To understand what the user behavior is and also the customer psychology is, right? I think when I've used Google Analytics, right, you see where the customer drops in and what page he visits the most and why is he dropping. And I think these are some data points which a growth product manager could work on to make it more smooth.
Yeah. Actually, I want to add one more thing here, right? The retention. I think that plays a key role here too, because at this point, what you're where you're at is you have good amount of customers who are actually coming and using the product. So if you don't retain those customers, that's another bigger problem. So growth product manager, I think, focuses a lot on that as well. So what is your overall conversion? What is your overall success rates? Let's say you're a product manager who is working for a mortgage application. So what is your overall conversion to get there? Or let's say if you're a product manager of Instagram, what is the overall time that a customer is spending on Instagram? So these would be some of these focus metrics that you'll be looking at to either grow your customer base or to continue to retain the current customers you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a great point.
Maybe one example would be, right, I know that let's compare, maybe see, like you have Facebook, right? Facebook and Twitter, I think, started just 2 years apart, but Facebook has grown to 2 billion users, but Twitter is still at 300 million users. So there's definitely a growth problem there. Maybe not having the right features or not appealing to the broader segment of people, or maybe they're just focusing on a specific user who's already, they've reached the potential of that user. So that could also be an example, right?
That's true.